We bow our heads. O God of our generations past and our God, we thank you for giving the vision and the mission and the possibilities of a new beginning so that our children and our children's children can inherit a goodly and a godly heritage. Grant as we turn the soil in a while, our hearts may be turned backwards as well as forwards, that coming from the cult of the past, now we move into the possibility for the future. Bless the endeavors of education, but in particular the community college at this time. May the vision burn in our hearts and in our minds and in our lives until our children and our children's children recognize the work and the worth that is being passed on to them. In the name of Christ we pray.
Amen. Honorable Minister of Education, Mrs. Cora Richardson Hodge. Honorable Minister of Health and Social Development, Mr. Evans McHale Rogers. Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Mr. Curtis Richardson. Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Ms. Pamela Van Webster. Honorable Elected Member for Road North, Mrs. Emily Bradley. Chair and members of the Board of the Anguilla Community College. President and staff of the Anguilla Community College. Past president, past chairs, and past board members of the ACC, members of the project steering committee, education officers, project coordinator, Mr. Romel Hughes, contractor, Mr. Cephas Webster of Quality Construction, Reverend Dr. Richley Gums, friends and supporters of the Anguilla Community College, a pleasant good morning. I turn over to Dr. Dawson to give the official welcome.
Thank you very much, PS, and I adopt the protocol so excellently established by you. And I say a pleasant good morning to everyone gathered here. I say good morning, I would proudly say to friends of the Anguilla Community College. This occasion is a significant marker on the life of the institution. It has been long anticipated, a day that at times we thought would be right around the corner, and a day, as I've heard it skeptically said, we thought would never come. But we are here at this moment, and it has been through the efforts of many, and you will hear some of that as we proceed with the program today. But it just lifts my heart to see all of you who have received our invitation and come. At the recent board meeting, we said that when it became apparent that this day would actually come today, and how much of an event it would be, one board member said, let's try and do this thing. It's been so long, let's do it quietly. And indeed, we did not make it a huge event that we spread round and round, but a little word that went out, I think, has been received well. And again, I'm very thankful for each and every one of you that are gathered here today. And I trust that your today would be a continuation, of your support for the community college as we strive to play our part in the building of Anguilla. This facility, the first phase of 2, will give us the opportunity for more hands-on training. It will give us the opportunity to pursue things that we have not been able to do for lack of resources in our current facility. That we can see training that would impact industries such as the culinary, as the hospitality industry, with training for our chefs. We will see training for persons in the automotive industry, and other technical construction trades would be able to commence upon the completion of this facility. So again, I welcome each and every one of you, and at the same time, even as I welcome, I will also issue the thank you. The thank you to all who have made this possible. P.S. for the work that you will do in chairing this concert, this ceremony. Thank you. Our minister who will give remarks, Reverend Dr. Gums, for the role that you have already played, or songster at the community college, Ms. Sharon Richardson, who will contribute, the project coordinator, Mr. Hughes, and the chairman of the board, Mr. Ray, as well as Mr. Cephas Webster, who Quality Construction is the contractor for the program. So again, members of the media, we thank you as well, and we again extend a warm welcome.
Now welcome our Honorable Minister, Mrs. Cora Richardson Hodge, to give her remarks.
Good morning to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. I adopt the protocol that has already been established. Before I begin, let me just say that I want to especially recognize our Minister of Social Development, the Honorable Mr. Evan McNeil Rogers, who is also the immediate former Minister of Education and who has actually spearheaded and taken the lead in terms of making the ACC bringing us where we are today through its many iterations over the years. And so I had invited him to make remarks on my behalf, but he didn't bite, so in my stead, I should say. So today is a historic day. It is not every day that you break ground for your country's first indigenous tertiary institution. It is a significant milestone for the development of the Anguilla Community College when we can finally begin the construction of its new home. The vision for the Anguilla Community College was formulated many years ago in the heart and mind of former Minister of Education, Mr. Eric Reid, and has been pursued by several subsequent Ministers of Education ever since. I am so pleased that I have the opportunity to be a part of bringing this vision to fruition. It has been a long time in coming. Several years ago, the Caribbean Development Bank partnered with the government of Anguilla to support the development of the community college. It pledged loan financing in the sum of US $3.2 million and has provided support and guidance over the years to make this project a reality. To say that this project has had challenges would be an understatement. It has been quite a bumpy ride, and many times persons felt that we should give up and not bother with the development of the college. However, despite the setbacks, the project steering committee, the college board past and present, and both the former and present ACC president continue to push and advocate for the continuation of the project. I do believe that it is because of their perseverance and the work of the project coordinator, Mr. Romel Hughes, that we are here today. This groundbreaking that we'll witness today is for phase 1 of the Anguilla Community College Development Project, which will result in the construction of workshops and labs for the technical portion of the college, where courses in technical and vocational education will be taught, including culinary arts, automotive technology, construction, ICT, and the like. This is an important first step as it enables the college to meet the needs of a cross-section of the population it is now unable to serve effectively in its current location. Soon to follow, hopefully, will be phase 2, which consists of facilities for administration and classrooms. I believe the vision for the college many years ago is much the same today, an institution of the people for the people. The development of Anguilla depends in large part on ensuring that our people have access to quality education at an affordable cost. Case studies of countries around the world will show that the more educated a populace, the more prosperous a nation. It is our knowledge of this correlation that has inspired us to keep up the momentum for the development of the college despite the naysayers. We must provide opportunities for our people to develop themselves. Even if persons do not pursue degree-level studies, if they have the opportunity to improve their knowledge of their current jobs and to increase their productivity, this benefits not only them, but their organization and the economy as a whole. The Anguilla Community College is not an option. It is a necessity if we are to build a nation proud, strong, and free. I admonish the college to always seek to be relevant and responsive to the needs of the community. This won't always be easy, especially when you have to balance this with being cost effective. However, once you're strategic and targeted in your approach and you continue to explore community partnerships, you should be able to make meaningful strides towards achieving your mandate. I also use this occasion to remind the Anguillan people, as I always do, that the Anguilla Community College is here to serve you. Visit or call the college, tell them what you are interested in doing, and let them provide you with some guidance or advice on what program is the best fit for you. Take advantage of the opportunities provided for your own advancement. It is a type of investment you will never forget. Before I take my seat, let me say thank you to all the persons and entities, many of whom I mentioned before, for your efforts in steering this project through to this point. I am grateful for the work that you have done over the years and look forward to your continued involvement. I also congratulate Mr. Cephas Webster of Quality Construction, who won the bid for Phase 1. And as the name says, we look forward to a quality finished product. Thank you for your attention.
And those of us who have been on this journey know how bumpy it was. And we want especially to recognize the involvement and the push made by former President Professor Delroy Loudon, because it took significant effort, patience, continued perseverance to bring us to this point. So we recognize your efforts, Professor. My classmate, Sharon Richardson, will now bless us with a song, Great is Thy Faithfulness.
Great is thy faithfulness, O God my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassion, they fade not. As thou hast been, thou forever wilt be. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Summer and winter and springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above, join with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Pardon for sin and a peace that endureth, thine own dear presence to cheer and to guide, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. Blessings are mine with 10,000 beside. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Everybody. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me.
Thank you so much, Sharon, for that wonderful rendition. We now invite our project coordinator, Mr. Romel Hughes, to give some remarks. I must warn him, because over the years I've been pestering him about when are we going to break ground. Because you're breaking ground doesn't mean that's the end of the festival. But welcome, Romel.
Good morning. Good morning, all. I'd like to adopt the protocol already established. The history of this project has spanned many, many administrations. And therefore it is the least controversial, I would suppose, of the projects ever implemented on the island. However, as you may have heard previously, this project has been bedeviled by many, many, many hiccups. It appears as if what can go wrong did went wrong. For example, this particular occasion has been planned more than once. Today, we've moved it from the boardroom to the outside. And for me, that's a big milestone. Planning in the boardroom is of no value if you cannot implement it. The enhancement of this learning space will give us an opportunity to expand our horizons. And we hope that those of us who have been associated with college hope that we can quickly move to the next phase. And we know that that is not all dependent upon us. However, we keep our fingers crossed as we hope to reach that milestone shortly. Today, we have moved those hurdles from the boardroom, as I said, to the ground. During the next 2 weeks, we are hoping that we will begin the actual physical construction process. Now, I'd like to caution here that there are a couple of hurdles that we still have to surmount. And given the history of this project to date, those hurdles can throw a spanner in the works. We are hoping that within the next 2 weeks, we'll have a second pre-construction meeting. We are also working at the same time with the contractor, Quality Construction, to put in place the necessary insurances and bonds that will allow us to move forward with this specific phase. Hopefully all goes well. But given my history with the project, I don't plan too far ahead. I just set goals and try to work towards them. And once that one goal has been accomplished, we move to the next goal. So our next immediate goal for us would be to ensure that we get the right insurances in place. We've encountered some difficulty with them because our financial institutions have been very reticent to issue bonds and insurances as it relates to projects such as these. In fact, in one of my last conversations with the contractor, he indicated that one of the financial institutions on the island asked him, "What are they? What is a bond?" So even they need some education in this respect. And these activities, once we get the experience of dealing with these type of activities, it can allow us to set our sights further afield in terms of our construction prowess. And we must do that given the small nature of our space here in Anguilla. Our development space is quite limited, specifically based on the size of our population. And therefore, in order for us to grow and compete, we must set our sights higher and further. And for that, our financial institutions have to be part of that expansion if we are to succeed. As some of the speakers said earlier, this project has been long in coming, and so indeed it has been. I've had a 4-year association with the project, and that 4 years have been like an eternity, because we move in very, very small incremental steps. So today, it's no small feat in that we'll be breaking ground for the construction of phase 1. Phase 1 in that initially this project was supposed to have been one phase. But given the passage of time and the devaluation of money with time, in order to move the project forward, we've had to subdivide it into 2 phases. The subdivision is semi-artificial in that it will not result in the complete relocation of the entire college to this site. However, the component with which we are embarking on is an integral part and a very necessary part for us to be able to address the raison d'etre of the institution. The TVEC Center, which this will become in the future, is one of those areas where we in Anguilla need and require in order for us to develop and move our country into the 21st century. It is incumbent upon us that we make this, the ACC, a success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Romeo. We now invite the current chair of the Board of Governors of the ACC, Mr. Rodney Ray, one of my favorite teachers. I'm not just saying that because he's here. It's really true. To give his remarks.
Thank you, Mrs. Chanel Petty Barrett. I adopt the protocol already established, so well established by our permanent secretary, Mrs. Chanel Petty Barrett. I did not give much mental thought or remarks for this occasion. All I wanted to say was that because this project has been on again and off again for 4 years, all I needed to say was any long speech would only serve to delay the project. So let's get this project going. After 4 years, we need to have this facility. We will finally have a purpose-built facility, part of it, for the present generation and the generations to come. Whether we should have or not have our own tertiary institution is still being debated. But after much study, and there was a detailed feasibility study some years ago led by Dr. Arthur Richardson that determined that Anguilla needed to have its own Community College. So the decision was made, and the Anguilla Community College is here to stay. We will soon have our own purpose-built facility, which I believe will have an impact on the Anguillan community, what some people call the demonstration effect. Seeing our own building and having our own building will motivate students to become part of the Anguilla Community College. Everybody knows that Barbados, they claim Barbados is the most literate society in the Caribbean. That's an assertion they make. They have a lot of institutions. And my good friend Charlie Connor, who studied there one time, he observed and he likes to say that in Barbados, people go from walk to school. You see Barbadians hurrying to the various tertiary institutions after work. But in Anguilla, we go from walk to walk. Hope you get it. Hopefully, having this facility here would serve to motivate young Anguillians to leave work and come and improve themselves. Anguilla is a micro-state, and there are some things we will have to do what other big countries do, although we are short of resources. We just need to research what Singapore has done. Singapore, a city-state, which has committed a lot of resources to development of its human capital, and there today they can be considered a first world nation. We will get there one day. I wish to add my note of congratulations to Quality Plumbing, Mr. Cephas Webster, my good friend from Cricket Days. Quality Construction. What did I say? Quality Plumbing. I see some things are stuck. Quality Construction, Mr. Cephas Webster, and his wife, Mrs. Webster, is here. We want to congratulate them for winning the bid for this phase 1. And I want to add Mr. Cephas Webster, homegrown from Island Harbor, Anguilla, and not Beijing, China. We look forward eagerly, Mr. Webster and Mrs. Webster, to the construction of this phase 1 of the college that we so eagerly need and so desire in Anguilla. Please continue to support the Anguilla Community College. I must add that I'm pleased today to see so many of my fellow board members here. We have waited so long for this day, and after 3 years on the board, we can now say the Anguilla Community College is going to be a reality. Thank you all those who played a part in the project so far. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ray. Thank you everyone for being here and participating in our brief ceremony. We move immediately now to the actual groundbreaking.